Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Aravindaya. Om Anandamayi, Om Chaitanyamayi, Om Satyamayi, Om Parame. O my beloved Lord, let us be thine integrally. Let Lord's divine peace be with us. O Lord, with full faith, love and surrender, we are ready for thy victory. Om, peace, peace, peace. Prayers and Meditations, December 12, 1914, page 306. We must know at each moment how to lose everything that we may gain everything. We must be able to shed the past like a dead body that we may be reborn into a greater plenitude. It is so that the constant aspiration of the inner being expresses itself. Turn to thee. It wants to reflect thee in an ever pure mirror, and thy unchanging beatitude is translated in it into a propelling force of progress of an incomparable intensity. And this force is transformed in the most external being into a calm and assured will which no obstacle can vanquish. O Divine Master, with what an ardent love I serve Thee, with what a pure, still, and infinite joy I am Thyself in all that is and beyond all existence in form. And the two consciousness unite in an unequaled plenitude. The Life Divine, page 8, para 2. Thus, the eternal paradox and eternal truth of a divine life in an animal body, an immortal aspiration or reality inhabiting a mortal tenement, a single and universal consciousness representing itself in limited minds and divided egos, a transcendent, indefinable, timeless, and spaceless being, who alone renders time and space and cosmos possible. And in all these, the higher truth, realizable by the lower term, justify themselves to the deliberate reason as well as to the persistent instinct or intuition of mankind. Attempts are sometimes made to have done finally with questionings which have so often been declared insoluble by logical thought, and to persuade men to limit their mental activities to the practical and immediate problems of their material existence in the universe. But such evasions are never permanent in their effect. Mankind returns from them with a more vehement impulse of inquiry or a more violent hunger for an immediate solution. By that hunger, mysticism profits and new religions arise to replace the old that have been destroyed or stripped of significance by a skepticism which itself could not satisfy, because although its business was inquiry, it was unwilling sufficiently to inquire. The attempt to deny or stifle a truth because it is yet obscure in its outward workings and too often represented by obscurantist superstition or a crude faith is itself a kind of obscurantism. The will to escape from a cosmic necessity because it is orders difficult to justify by immediate tangible results, slow in regulating its operations, must turn out eventually to have been no acceptance of the truth of nature, but a revolt against the secret, mightier will of the Great Mother. It is better and more rational to accept what she will not allow us as a race to reject and lift it from the sphere of blind instinct, obscure intuition, and random aspiration into the light of reason and an instructed and consciously self-guiding will. And if there is any higher light of illumined intuition or self-revealing truth which is now in man, either abstracted and inoperative, or works with intermittent glancings as if from behind a veil, or with occasional displays as of the northern lights in our material skies, then there also we need not fear to aspire. For it is likely that such is the next higher state of consciousness of which mind is only a form and veil, and through the splendors of that light may lie the path of a progressive self-enlargement into whatever higher state is humanity's ultimate resting place. Savitri, page 672. Book 11, the Book of Everlasting Day. To please some carelessness of divine peace answered the deep demand of an infinite sense, and its need of forms to house its bodiless thrill, a march of universal powers in time, the harmonic order of self's vastitudes in cyclic symmetries and metric planes, harbored a cosmic rapture's revelry, an endless figuring of the spirit in things, planned by the artist who has dreamed the worlds, of all the beauty and the marvel here, of all time's intricate variety. Eternity was the substance and the source, not from a plastic mist of matter made. They offered the suggestion of their depths and opened the great series of their powers, arisen beneath a triple mystic heaven. The seven immortal earths were seen sublime. Homes of the blessed released from death and sleep, where grief can never come nor any pan, arriving from self lost and seeking worlds, alter heaven nature's changeless quietude and mighty posture of eternal calm, its pose of ecstasy immutable, plains lay that seem the expanse of God's wide sleep, thought's wings climbed up towards heaven's vast repose, lost in blue deeps of immortality. A changed earth nature felt the breath of peace, air seemed an ocean of felicity, or the couch of the unknown spiritual rest, a vast quiescence swallowing up all sound into a voicelessness of utter bliss. Even matter brought a close spiritual touch, all thrilled with the immanence of one divine. The lowest of these earths was still her heaven, translating into the splendor of things divine, the beauty and brightness of terrestrial scenes. Eternal mountains ridge on gleaming ridge, whose lines were graved as on a sapphire plate, and etched the borders of heaven's lustrous noon, climbed like piled temple stairs, and from their heads of topless meditation heard below the approach of a blue pilgrim multitude, and listened to a great arriving voice of the wide travel hymn of timeless seas. A chanting crowd from mountain bosoms slipped past branches fragrant with a sigh of flowers, hurrying through sweetnesses with river leaps, the murmurous rivers of felicity, divinely rippled, honey-voiced desires, mingling their sister eddies of delight, then widening to a pace of calm-lipped muse, down many glimmered estuaries of dream, went whispering into lakes of liquid peace. On a brink held of senseless ecstasy, and guarding an eternal poise of thought, sat sculptured souls dreaming by rivers of sound, in changeless attitudes of marble bliss. Around her lived the children of God's day in an unspeakable felicity, a happiness never lost, the immortal seas, a glad eternity's blissful multitude. Around the deathless nations moved and spoke, souls of a luminous celestial joy, faces of stark beauty, limbs of the molded ray, in cities cut like gems of conscious stone, and wonderful pastures, and on gleaming coasts. Bright forms were seen, eternity's luminous tribes. Above her rhythmic godheads whirled the spears, rapt mobile fixities here blindly sought by the huge erring orbits of our stars. Ecstatic voices smote at hearing's chords, each movement found a music all its own. Songs thrilled of birds upon unfading bows, the colors of whose plumage had been caught from the rainbow of imagination's wings. Immortal fragrance packed the quivering breeze in groves that seemed moved bosoms and trembling depths. The million children of the undying spring bloomed, pure unnumbered stars of hue delight, nestling for shelter in their emerald sky. Fairy flower masses looked with laughing eyes, a dancing chaos, an iridescent sea eternized to heaven's ever wakeful sight, the crowding petal glow of marvel's tints, which float across the curtain lids of dream. We surrender to the Divine Mother this auspicious day of the aspirants of Auroville who worked, who are working, and who are going to work, and the friends of Auroville, and the near and dear of each one's family who resides in other part of the globe. The entire globe is surrounded by the Divine Mother's light and power and consciousness. Let her light fill the whole cosmos. Let each one touched by her light from Auroville, from Matra Mandir. We surrender everything to thy feet, Divine Mother. Thank you. for being with this auspicious time. Greetings from Aurobindo to all.